What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you more commentary from a live duel at locals. On the left we have Tenpai, and on the right we have Dogmatika Invoked. I know, good old classic on that one. I thought this was a very interesting matchup from locals, so I thought it'd be worth showing to you all. So we're going to be starting off with Plot of Prosperity. So please make sure you smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. So for Prosperity we reveal Fallen of Albaz, Nemesis Corridor and Nadir Servant, and we take Nadir Servant. It is at this exact moment, and I can't understand why, that Invoked actually revealed that they had made a massive misplay in one of the cards that they banished. They thought they played 2 Garura in the extra deck, and sadly they only played 1. Now the reason that is important is because they were also playing the Tri-Brigade package in the extra deck, and what that ultimately means is you would activate Nadir's Servant, you would send Garura, obviously you wouldn't get the draw because of Prosperity, but in doing so you'd then have a Winged Beast in the graveyard that could be banished, and you'd be setting up the playoff of the Link 5 Tri-Brigade monster. Either way, so we're going through Nadir Servant into Ecclesia, Ecclesia into Maximus, Maximus banished Titaniclad, summon itself down, sending 2 from the extra deck. So this will ultimately just be able to, I'm assuming, extra deck thin a little bit, depending on what they're going for, and set up the plays that way. As it currently stands, the board's okay. It looks like they're sending an App Cologne and a Mud Dragon, so the App Cologne is really important. Mud Dragon's not naturally a dark though, is it? I'm surprised of that. Was the play... I'm assuming the play would have been send Garura, banish Garura with Maximus, send Titaniclad and send App Cologne, and then you've got your window play set up. I fail to believe that there's not another dark in that extra deck. That's probably the main misplay on this, because if you set that other dark up, I can't see a way that Tenpai play through window. And that's very interesting as well. There's a Zulk in the extra deck of the Tenpai. I'm assuming it's more so synchro focused than relying on the link plays as well. Does look like the Tenpai has opened up a Lightning Storm, a Paedra, and we're not setting anything. Okay, that confuses me a little bit. So we're going to be starting off with the Sangan Field Spell. Pretty broken start. Is it all going to be hand traps? I mean, this is where you need Ghost though, guys. It's like your best way, because then their monsters are not protected during the main phase. So there's Ash Blossom. I feel this is the first time that Dogmatika Invoked is facing the Tenpai in real life. So you can kind of tell some of the interactions, and you'll see it as we go through it, that they read a lot of the cards. So we're starting off by normal summoning the Paedra. That's of course going to search out the Kaiman, and pretty much that's combo. I feel the only stumbling block right now is to get past the Maximus, because obviously it can't be destroyed by monsters. Someone from the... Is it someone from the extra deck? I'm trying to remember Maximus off the top of my head. I know Ecclesia can't be destroyed by monsters, especially from the extra deck. I'm pretty sure Maximus can. But either way, Maximus with a 3k booty is going to be a little bit painful to deal with. But that's still not going to stop the Tenpai technically running over this board. Like, the Ecclesia gets killed by Paedra at 17 versus 15. And I think the issue is that you can kind of tell, and this happens a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh as well, sometimes you derail yourself. Like, you have this perfect plan of action in mind, and you're like, right, okay, I'm going to do this. But then you, through autopilot, you do something that you wouldn't normally do. Like, so through autopilot, off the back of the Prosperity, they've accidentally chosen the Garura, which is the dark you want in the graveyard. And then from that point on, it derails all of your plays. So when you're using Maximus to send 2, you send a water and a dark, thinking that you're sending 2 darks because you naturally would have sent Titaniclad previously. Does that make sense? You would have sent normally Titaniclad and App Cologne, but because they derailed themselves in the first one by banishing the Garura from the Prosperity, they then banished... Because like your natural form of progression would be Nadir Servant, send Garura, draw 1 card, summon Maximus, Maximus send Titaniclad and App Cologne and go from there. So your natural state of play is Garura number 1, Titaniclad number 2. So you've got that built into your brain. So that when you activate Prosperity and you banish one of the first targets, you kind of derail that. And then you see Garura and go, right, okay, so my next step is Titaniclad, when really it's not, it's something else. I'm hoping that makes sense. But the idea is that that's what you're kind of working towards. Nothing is strong enough to kill the Maximus as of yet, so as we're carrying back to the standard Tenpai plays. So still can't get rid of Maximus, but the idea is that you're just going to keep attacking as many times as you need to. And then you've pretty much set all the revival up and everything else. Like, the Tenpais are ridiculously loose on their card effects. So, like, we have card effects like the Ties That Bind, which is the brand new Ties of the Brethren for Golden Sark or Shining Sark. And it's like, you must control Shining Sark and a monster that mentions it to special 2 level 4 or lower monsters that mention Shining Sark from the deck, but you can't access the extra deck. So it's like, okay, you need to control 2 specific cards, and then you can only summon this specific level, and on top of that, you can't go into the extra. And then there's just Tenpais that are like, yeah, you can synchro with us as many times as you like in the battle phase, you can bring us back from the graveyard as many times in the battle phase that you like, and yeah, we're unaffected during the main phase. And it's just like, bruh, really? Did you need to be that lapsical with your effects? Like, we're so naturally accustomed to reading cards and going, right, okay, cool, okay, that's a hard once per turn. But then this deck is broken enough as it is, and it's like every single card is like, yeah, we're quite good. We're pretty good, you know. Yeah, pretty good. Anyway, I ramble on because we are just doing standard Tenpai plays here. So I think that we're just recalling some of the battles to show where each of the step ups were coming from. And the idea is you're just going to keep synchroing and synchroing and synchroing until you can out the Maximus, which you now can do with the Transcendent. So the Transcendent is not strong enough, but by bringing back the Biden will pop the field spell, make the Transcendent 6k. That's enough to kill the Maximus. Kill the Maximus, kill the Pedra. What's going on here? What's going on here? Yeah, so I think the Transcendent kills the Pedra, and then you attack with the Pedra, attack with the Biden, and then you synchro into another level 10, which can be like your Trident Dragon. Anyway, moving on to game number 2. Let's see if the Dogmatika has learnt their lessons on this one. I wonder who's going first. I mean, this is obviously one interesting thing about the Tenpais is start with Brand Fusion. That's pretty good. Met with an Ash, typical. This is what I quite like about the Dogmatika version. It has a lot of 1-card power plays. So talents. Are we drawing or looking? Oh, you revealed the hand already. Why would you do that? Ah! And it looks like he's got... Did he put Heatwave in? Yeah, he did. He put Heatwave in. Ooh, that's interesting. So I suppose this is the one kind of counter play towards Tenpai, is you can kind of play mind games with them and ultimately make them think they're going to go first, and then they'll side in all their go first cards because they know they are incredibly weaker at going first. But this is how the... there we go. So this is how the Nadir kind of combo is going to be working for them. So they send the Link 5 off the Nadir, and then the Nadir will send the Garura, and because they're not under Pros, they get to draw an additional card as well. So I think the Pros kind of derailed the play the last turn. Anyway, you can play mind games with them and go, I feel more confident in breaking a Tenpai board than trying to stop a Tenpai board. But then I feel most decks right now are just more confident in their going first capabilities than they are in their board breaking capabilities. So that's probably why you might not always take that risk. And the issue is, if you do take that risk and your opponent reads that play and they do put in a Heatwave is near enough an automatic GG. And the only way that you can deal with Heatwave is if you are like next big brain playing and putting in a Cyframe Delta, which isn't so bad because, you know, not only can it hit Heatwave, it can hit other cards in the in other matchups. So it does have a bit more utility for you. And it is a very nice hand trap, but then you are adding in one more brick. So it depends on how bad you want to deal with Heatwave. I mean, I suppose if Dogmatika Invoke see it, then they'll definitely be like, yeah, I hate this card. I'm going to do everything I can to stop it. Anyway, it looks like we're continuing with the exact same full combo as it should have been done in the previous turn. So lessons have been learnt, which is great to see. Like I said, sometimes you just kind of get into your own head. It happens. It's part of Yu-Gi-Oh! But it looks like we're setting for lol. That is, we saw a Forbidden Droplet. We know a Schism is down there. We've got Titaniclad resolving in the end phase. I did title this as an Invoked build, but we haven't seen any Invoked yet. But we've got a Titaniclad in the graveyard. We also have the Garura as well and the App Clone. So drew a couple of cards, which is really useful. And then as soon as Winder hits that board, unless they hold open and imperm, which it looks like they do, it would pretty much be GG. But if you wait for your opponent to commit a monster to the board, like this right here, and they go Pedra, and you go, yeah, okay, whatever, I would honestly let it resolve. I mean, they're only if you know you're getting the Winder, they can't get rid of it. Like, they Black Rose, all right, whatever. Winder still stays. Plus the Black Rose would be the one summon under the window, so you'd still lock them out completely. Maybe you'd go Winder here. I don't think there's anything they could do during the main phase. I mean, I suppose the other issue is if they have Forbidden Droplet, that would kind of suck. But I suppose that's risk and reward on that one. We know there's a Droplet along that back row. There's no real need to get rid of any of your monsters right now. Like, you can just leave that board up. Because during the next turn, you can link off. And then you can also build your board even further from there and then proceed to try and push for an OTK in retaliation. Or return. Retaliation, return. Either way. So, bro, it's not poker. Like, you've looked at your bottom card so many times. There's the discard of Heatwave. I mean, Heatwave is, you see it in your opening hand, go in first, otherwise it's completely dead. You don't want your opponent to already have a built board and then try and turn skip them, because it really doesn't matter by that point. So we're special summoning down the fire because we control the Tenpai. Now, I'm not too sure. Does the fire activate in the hand? Like, I haven't got the card to... Let's have a quick look. I mean, if the fire activates in hand, then it's quite funny, because then you could technically activates in hand and you go, okay, cool, chain, schism, make Winder. And it's like, all right, cool, GG, bro. But it looks like we're chaining schism here, which is exactly what's happening. Like, that would lose to a DD Crow or something. Okay, once per turn, quick effect. Mini officer synchro, if you control a fire, dragon, monster, yeah, so it's got a trigger effect, so it does trigger in the hand, so technically trigger that in the hand, chain, schism, summon down Winder, GG, that ain't hitting the board, or that hits the board and that's your one synchro, and then you can't out the Winder. Either way, that obviously that gets hit board, and then we go into Striker Dragon, which is very interesting, because surely the one special summon you'd want to do would be the synchro summon that is stronger than a Winder. So I think they kind of misunderstood Winder on that one and thought it was special summoning only darks, but got confused on that. It looks like Tenpai chose to go first in game 3, that all-important game 3. Starting with Heatwave, I mean, that is, I think the only way Dogmatika play through this is if they open up Nadir Servant. Yeah, they have to open up Nadir Servant. Because if you Nadir Servant, you send... Garura draws you a card. Oh no, you can't summon down Maximus. You would have to open up a dark and yeah, you'd have to open up a dark or schism. Basically, what you're trying to do is get to schism. So you would have to get a route to get App Clone to the graveyard, which is your Shadow monster. Search out your schism, but then you would need another dark to be able to banish. And I don't think that's the case. I think there was a hard opening of Maximus. D barrier. Well, actually, no, I understand D barrier, because then you schism D barrier. I mean, I would take D barrier because that is this, like, if the hand's good, which it looks like there's a pager in there, you take the D barrier, you have no worry whatsoever of Winder hitting that board. So even on the slim chance that your opponent does open up the cracked combo in order to set up Winder, which is their biggest defensive play, like, you shouldn't need to worry about having to deal with imperms or anything else. Like, you should be able to play through that. But looks like activating the Kaiman to add. Okay, makes sense. I mean, you're getting your combo you need to. Like, if they do set 5, you've got the ability to go normal summon Paedra search you out Kaiman, special summon down the red one, and then synchro into Rose, and then Rose will nuke the board. And then because you still have the Kaiman, you can activate the Kaiman to go into the battle phase and get your full combo going. So that's very interesting. Have we drawn for turn? It looks like we've drawn for turn. I mean, the Heatwave is literally just, okay, cool, past turn, what have you got? Have you got a crap ton of hand traps to try and stop me building my board, or have you got loads of Floodgate back row cards that's going to stop me even playing? And unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. I believe, if I remember rightly, because I think I saw the hand, I think it was like Call by the Grave, Imperm, Ecclesia, Talents, Maximus, I believe. So 2 cards that you can't already summon. They're not activating a monster effect, so Talents is completely dead right now. Call by the Grave is okay, but everything is done during the damage steps. You have to preemptively hit stuff in the graveyard if it's there already. Or if they already have one of the same monster, which they're not going to do because they played Heatwave the previous turn. Imperm, kind of okay, but if they get to the field spell, nothing's happening there. And then there's another spell in the hand that I can't imagine is that effective. So normal summon down the Paedra. No hand traps as well. That's even more damaging. Like, there's no hand traps, so it is just Imperm and stop it. But then we already know they've got the red one in the hand, so they go, okay, whatever, summon down the red one. Red one's still going to be able to summon from the deck, and then it's just going to push for an OTK. So Yeah, it's not looking good. That heat wave is just, it is broken. Like once it resolves, broken, game over. But if it doesn't resolve, then you're in it. Like if they don't open it, you're in a good position. But sometimes it is just the luck of the draw. Like if you see it in your opening 5 cards, fine, GG, bro. You just wanted it more, but is what it is. So we're gonna go with Chandra, summon down, Fadra. So you've got 17 off the board of Pedra, you got 15 off the board of Chandra, and then I can't remember how much Fadra is off the top of my head. I'm assuming that was a synchro with Chandra to get you into the synchro because obviously Pedra is negated, but doesn't make much of a difference when it comes back. Not using Biden's effect to revive. Very interesting. I don't know why you wouldn't. You're in battle phase. So either way, we've taken a 17, a 16, and a 12 or 15, whatever Phaedra is. I can't remember off the top of my head. But straight away, that's like, let's say 45, okay? So 45, and then a Biden of 26. So, and then we're going to try and call by, but you can't because Phaedra is during the damage step. If they've done it on declaration. I'm not sure when they've activated this. So the question is, if they've chosen not to use the Biden on summon, but they chose to use the Phaedra, that's interesting. And then pretty much they just scoop it up from there. So that is pretty much it, I'm afraid. Very interesting duel. It kind of shows you, like, Winder is a great counter to the deck as long as it's played in the right capacities. I feel that the misplay in game 1 kind of cost the Invoked player and derailed them, and then Heatwave just wins game 3. So not much more you can do about that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.